Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our monthly meeting of the Cobb County Board of Zoning Appeals. At this time, I would like to ask everyone who's able to stand to pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. For those of you who do not have the agenda or who are attending for the first time, we'll concern ourselves with the cases that are on consent. These are cases that have been reviewed by the board and by professionals from various departments and here in the county, and to which there's no known opposition. We have discussed these in our work session. Certain staff comments and stipulations have been made, and oops, I lost my place. We do not anticipate any further discussion is needed for a decision. So as we go forward, I'll turn it over to Mr. Peterson.
Thank you. And before we start the consent agenda, there are 3 cases on today's agenda which have been held or continued, and these cases will not be heard today. First case is a variance case V101, Fahid Mohammadi. This case was continued until the December 13th, 2013 Board of Zoning Appeals hearing. So V101 will not be heard today. Variance case V110, Pulte Home Company, LLC. This case was continued by the staff until the December 13th, 2023 Board of Zoning Appeals hearing. So V110 will not be heard today. And lastly, variance case V117, Marcus D. Floyd. This case was continued until the December 13th, 2023 Board of Zoning Appeals hearing. So V117 will not be heard today. Cobb County Board of Zoning Appeals variance hearing consent agenda for November 15th, 2023. First case on consent is variance case V112. Peachtree Construction Company requested variance to reduce the impervious buffer from 75 feet to 63 feet in land lots 971 and 972 of the 17th District. The property is located on the east side of Woodland Brook Drive, north of Keyswick Drive. The Board of Zoning Appeals recommends approval, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, stormwater management comments, and number 2, DOT comments. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is present. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V112? No. Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V113, Bradley Davis requests a variance to reduce the front setback from required 20 feet to 17 feet in land lot 290 of the 20th District. The property is located at the northeast terminus of Wallace Farm Lane. The Board of Zoning Appeals recommends approval, subject to number 1, site plan review comments, and number 2, sewer comments. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V113? No. Okay, let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V114, Pirani Properties LLC requests a variance to number 1, reduce the minimum parking required from 16 spaces to 15 parking spaces. Number 2, increase the maximum allowable impervious coverage from 70% to 81%. Number 3, reduce the front setback from required 50 feet to 24 feet, which is an existing condition. And number 4, reduce the rear setback from required 30 feet to 6 feet, which is existing in land lot 36 of the 17th District. The property is located at the southwest intersection of Veterans Memorial Highway and Mapleton Parkway. The Board of Zoning Appeals recommends approval, subject to number 1, traffic comments, number 2, stormwater management comments, and number 3, site plan review comments. Is the applicant present? Yep. Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V114? No. Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V115, FedEx Ground Package System Incorporated requests a variance to reduce the minimum parking required from 1,640 parking spaces to 1,078 parking spaces in land lots 174 and 175 of the 16th District. The property is located on the southeast corner of Old 41 Highway and Airport Road, south of McClellan Parkway. The Board of Zoning Appeals recommends approval, subject to stormwater management comments. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V115? No. Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V116, Courtney Combs requests a variance to number 1, reduce the rear setback from required 35 feet to 15 feet, which is existing. Number 2, allow an accessory structure, which is an existing approximately 500 square foot garage to be to the side of the principal building. And number 3, reduce the rear setback for an accessory structure under 650 square feet for an existing approximately 500 square foot garage, if required 35 feet to 12 feet in land lot 1249 of the 16th district. The property is located on the east side of Brookcrest Drive, south of Rhodes Drive. The Board of Zoning Appeals recommends approval. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V116? No. Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V119, Subhashish Sengupta and Shetal Sengupta request a variance to allow 2 accessory structures, which is a proposed pool and approximately 350 square foot pool house, to be located to the side and in front of the principal building in land lots 99 and 100 of the 1st District. The property is located on the southwest corner of Post Oak Trick Road and Horseshoe Knoll Lane, south of McPherson Road. The Board of Zoning Appeals recommends approval, subject to no commercial or dwelling use of the accessory building. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V119? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V121, Sharon Burse requests a variance to allow an accessory building that is intended to be habitable to be attached to the principal structure by a breezeway rather than a fully enclosed, heated, and cooled hallway, and be more than 25 feet from the primary structure, and the breezeway is 36.3 feet away in land lot 741 of the 16th District. The property is located on the west side of East Piedmont Road, south of Birch Tree Way. The Board of Zoning Appeals recommends approval. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V121? Let the record show there's no one opposed. And that completes the consent agenda, Madam Chair and Board.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Okay, it's back to us. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns on any of these cases on consent? I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we accept and approve the consent agenda as it stands.
Second.
Thank you. Would you place your votes, please? Consent agenda has been approved. Thank you.
Okay, all those folks that were on consent, you're free to go. Just leave quietly, and we'll start the hearing in about 1 or 2 minutes after the room is cleared out.
You keep stepping on my lawns.
Okay.
Are we ready to proceed? Okay. All right.
Okay, let me get the agenda real quick here.
Just for y'all to know, the procedure now is once we read the case into the record, whoever's applied for it can come to the podium and make comments for a period of time up to 10 minutes. Should there be anybody in opposition, they have the same time period. And at the end, we will close the public hearing, and from there on, it will be up to the board if they need to ask either party to come up and speak to any other questions.
Okay. Case we're going to hear today on regular agenda is variance case V118, Pierre Lucine. Request a variance to increase the maximum allowable impervious coverage from 35% to 50.3%, and to increase the maximum allowable building height from 35 feet to 40 feet in land lot 826 of the 16th District. The property is located at the northern terminus of Hunter's Glen, north of Old Hunter's Trace. The applicant is present. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case of V118? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in?
I'm not used to it.
Good afternoon. Just state your name and tell us about your request.
I'm sorry? I can't hear.
State your name.
Oh, Pierre Lucian. Do I just start talking? I just start talking? Okay. All right. I tried to apply for this permit, and I tried to do it the right way. So when I came, I applied for this permit. I was trying to build a dream house for my family. So I went to the proper channels. They approved me to get the permit, and not until my first inspection, they said, "Oh, you need this, or you need this variance." I went through the whole process. I got a loan, and it was based off what I presented on the plans, and now I just feel disappointed and down that I have to go through all this when it was first an exciting moment. Now it's more of a depressing moment. But I'm here just hoping that I can continue building this house for my family. The goal was to move in by December, Christmas, and at this moment, it can't happen. I'm just hoping that you guys can help me out, get this resolved so I can continue building this house for my family. I think that's it. Go ahead.
If I may. My name is Andy Smith. I'm here in support of Pierre. I've got some handouts, if that's okay. Just do that to the clerk. This is information on the height. Yeah, there's enough for everybody. One of these I can put on the board. These are drawing to show the impervious surface up. Well, thank you for hearing this. I did these drawings for Pierre to show a couple of things. On the drawing that we're looking at the screen, the blue area represents those impervious areas that were existing before we started the project that he's removed or are going to remove during the construction. The red is the area that's being added to this, so you can see that there's much more removed than what was added. In fact, prior to Pierre beginning his project, the impervious surface on the lot was 57%, and his project will reduce it. His proposed project would reduce it to right at 50.3%. And I was wanting to ask you to consider two things. One is this reduction. It's a better stormwater situation now than it was when he started. And the other is that you may notice that this lot is very small. It's R15 lot, 9,600 square foot. By code, the 25% reduction of the minimum size that was allowed would have made this lot 11,250 square foot. So he just doesn't have the area needed to provide the 30 to have an impervious surface and the home that he wants with only 35% impervious. So I did a couple of numbers. If this had been a properly sized R15 lot, the structure and impervious surface that he's showing now would just be 29% of that lot. If the lot was even at the minimum size allowed with a 25% reduction in the square footage, which is the maximum that should have been, I believe, should have been allowed in this when the subdivision was platted, he'd be at 41% impervious. So it's really a shame that a lot this size was allowed when this subdivision was plotted. But if you look at the whole subdivision, there's plenty of impervious surface, plenty of lots as large as 20,000 square foot in the general vicinity of his, and 15,000 square foot or more adjacent to his. So in a sense, the stormwater is being handled over a number of lots because as it needed to be, because this one was so small. The other handout that I passed out is a survey that Pierre had done to verify the height of the home. The question that's been raised by the building department is whether the elevator enclosure, the structure that encloses the top of the elevator that he needs to be able to access his roof, constitutes another story, which I believe it doesn't, in that a story by definition has to have a floor and a ceiling, which an elevator shaft does at the very top and bottom, but doesn't on a fourth floor. So I think initially when Pierre had this reviewed by zoning, he and I talked, and he went back and talked to the zoning desk official at that point about this specific thing. And the comment that we had was that, or that Pierre had, I was not there, and you may be better to bring this up, was that this was more like a chimney and not something that would constitute another floor and therefore necessitate the height limitation to be applied to the roof of that elevator structure as opposed to the roof of the home. And I'm sure you all know that in a typical home with a gabled roof or any kind of sloped roof, the height is measured to the midpoint of the highest roof. Well, because this is a flat roof on the top of the elevator enclosure that's only 36, 40 square foot large. In fact, in that picture on the cover of the engineering survey, you can see a little white streak about in the center of the home, and that's all of the elevator shaft that would be exposed to anybody's view from the street. And you'd really have to be pretty far out into the street to even see that. So from a visual standpoint, the fact that it's a flat-roofed home, 34.13 feet tall, with elevator structure that small in the center of the home, it presents a much smaller profile visually than a sloped roof would, where the portion higher than the midpoint would all be above the 35-foot limit. So that's kind of my take on this situation. I don't know if you've...
If I may, the elevator is not a luxury for me. As you can see, this is part of my life, right? So if I was an able-bodied person and a discussion of removing an elevator, yes, it would have been done in a heartbeat. Because I want to live an independent life. I want to be able, I don't want to send my wife up to the roof, go up the stairs to go take care of something that's happened in the roof because I can't get up there. So the elevator is not because a luxury, is based off necessity. So that's the reason why I added the elevator to the rooftop. And again, I went twice to building to the zoning department. I asked them, hey, is this considered a roof structure? And they said, no, it's considered as a chimney or a fireplace. I went there twice, and they said, okay, and they approved it. You know, so I wasn't trying to go behind, like, do anything sneaky or anything. I just was going by the books. I was trying to do everything the right way, and that's what happened. I don't
We
have,
could sing a song.
unfortunately, y'all, if I sung, y'all would be laughing, but I'm sorry. I don't have anything else to say. I'm sorry.
That's absolutely fine. We always just like to give you the warning.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you. Y'all may be seated.
But
What?
you can stay, because we'll just bring you back up, so you can stay.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, remain.
So, Mr. Peterson, can you talk to what they were discussing as far as the building height, where we have included the height from the 35 feet to the 40, what is including the elevator? Can you elaborate a little bit about that with what they're talking about, the measurements of roof lines and?
Yes, you know, as far as zoning goes, when you consider the height of a house, you know, there's one way to do it. And that one way is different if this was a gabled roof, a mansard roof, or a flat roof. So seeing how this is a flat roof, it's to the underside of the beams on the highest part of the house, which is the top of the elevator shaft. That's where we get the 40 feet from. If the elevator wasn't on there, then I think he would meet the house height by just under a foot.
Okay, thank you. As far as what the elevator is going to take you to the roof level for the purposes of,
Just in
What's-
case something happened, you know, like even if I had to repair the roof or initially the plans was to have a rooftop deck. And once that was arrived, I was like, I don't need a rooftop deck. So it's based off, in case something happened to the roof, in case I got a leak, in case something happened, I don't have to go send my wife or send my 8-year-old up there to try to address something. I want to be able to have a fully accessible home so I can be there.
so it would be, I know you and I had discussed, you said something to the fact that it would be for you to be accessible to the roof so that you could repair the roof and also any type of air conditioning. I guess it would be like your equipment, air conditioning system,
Yeah,
heating
anything that
system,
I have to go up there.
mechanical systems
Yes,
on the
to do
roof. Okay. Okay, and then you understand how we got to the measurement of you're exceeding the height by, from 35 feet now at 40 feet. You understand how that was done?
Yes, I understand that now.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, and then as far as the allowable impervious coverage, from 35% to 50, you okay?
I got a cold.
35% to 50, stormwater is just asking that you update the site plan where you have to come up with a way to mitigate the percentage. And so you would need to get together with, you can get together with the person from stormwater, and he can go over different systems that you can put in, dry wells, that will mitigate your impervious coverage. So it'll be the stormwater comments will be included in my motion as well. And Andrew is sitting over there, and you feel free to meet with him, and he can lead you into some of the things that you can do to mitigate it.
Okay. hopefully it's not as expensive, because now I can't go back to the bank and say, hey, I need $30,000 because of, to
Well,
mitigate.
you can meet with him and you'll have to mitigate it back to 35%.
They have to meet. Okay, okay.
So I'm ready, if anyone has any questions.
In your application, you indicated your hardship was listed as other. Can you elaborate on,
My hardship?
yeah, it says, please select the extraordinary and exceptional conditions to the piece of property in question. The conditions must be peculiar to the piece of property involved, and you selected other.
I don't understand that part. This is the first time I'm doing all this, so I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's all I got.
I believe the question that she's asking is, what is your hardship? So explain to us the reason that you are requesting the variance, the reason for the elevator.
The reason for my elevator, my disability. That's the only reason why I'm doing. Like I said, if I wasn't an able body and you guys said something about the elevator, then it would have just been taken off and just be 3 stories. You know, so that's my hardship. And I don't, sorry.
With regard to the impervious surface, which is really probably the greater hardship for Pierre financially, it's the substandard lot, 9,600 square foot.
Can I ask you to hold?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can the applicant's person, Mr. Peterson or Brian, can the applicant's
Oh, I'm sorry.
support person come and speak to this if not called upon?
The public hearing portion of the hearing is over. If the BZA has a question for the applicant or his representative, they can ask that person, but you just can't come up here and start explaining something.
Okay, so I don't have any questions of,
You can stay right there, but a couple questions for Mr. Peterson. Do I understand that the railing around the roof line, it looks like there's like a handrail around the roof line proposed? Would that also need to be allowed as an exception within the?
No, I believe that the structure with the hand railing is a glass panel with a rail on top of it. Is that
Yes.
correct? So that would not need a variance from the BZA. It
Okay,
would be treated just like a parapet's treated.
okay. Can we expressly limit the height? If we grant a variance as to height, can it be expressly limited to the 2 structures shown on the plan?
Sure.
And that would be for a covered stairwell and a covered elevator? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I believe the stairwell has not been installed, correct?
Yeah,
It's just
I
the
removed
elevator.
the stairwell for that
so limit the
purpose.
height to what?
You said you've removed the stairwell?
Yeah, I removed the stairwell because I just trying to reduce the height limit.
Okay.
So I removed the stairwell.
I just wanted to hear. With my cold, I'm not hearing everything, so thank you.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I'm ready to make my motion. So I make my motion to approve. Oh, if you, would you like, you can have a seat, I'm sorry.
Oh, I can't see.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm,
Thank you.
sure. Thank you. So I make my motion to approve V118, subject to stormwater comments and also to, that the elevator, to go to the elevator will be for repairing of the roof and any mechanical systems on the roof only. And then the third is that the height of the parapet, actually, that the 40 feet to be for the elevator shaft only. So if you wanted to take the parapet and put it up the 5 feet, that would, do you want that to be allowed or not allowed?
Allowed only for the purposes of the.
Elevator? Okay,
They're going to want you to restate.
so I'm sorry. So the first is to allow the height of to 40 feet for the elevator only. And then the second would be to, that the increase from 35% to 50.3% in impervious system be allowed after stormwater comments. So you'll have to follow stormwater comments to mitigate it from the 50.3% to 35%. And that the elevator for Mr. Lucien to go to the roof is for repairing of the roof or mechanical systems that are on the roof only. And that's my motion. Does anyone?
A second?
Are we ready to vote?
A second?
Yeah, we have a second from Deidre. Okay. The motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Now, we have a little housekeeping to do as usual. So if you have had time to review your minutes from the variance hearing on October 11th, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, please place your vote. Minutes from the October 11th meeting are approved. Now we need to approve the minutes from the special call meeting on November 13th. I need a motion, please.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Minutes approved. Now, your favorite motion. Who wants to make the motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second. All right. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Oh, good, I'm so sorry.